Hello, my name is Emmanuel James Kalejai, and in this video, I'll describe the core component of a virtual machine, and I'll explain how we would leverage virtualization technology in a business settings. First, what is a VM? A virtual machine is a software-based computer that runs inside a physical computer, allowing you to use separate operating system on it and applications without affecting the main system, which is the host. So if we talk about the core components, I'd like to talk about four core components. The first one is the hypervisor, which is the foundation of virtualization. It is the layer that sits between the hardware and the virtual machine. It allocates CPU, memory, storage, and network resources to each VM. So when talking about hypervisors, we have type 1 hypervisor, which runs directly on hardware like VMware, ESXi, Hyper-V, or type 2, which runs on existing OS like VirtualBox. Secondly, there is the virtual hardware. The virtual hardware. This includes the virtual CPU, virtual RAM, virtual disk storage, and other network interface that the hypervisor presents to the VM. To the operating system running inside the VM, these components look like real physical hardware. And thirdly, every VM has its own guest operating system. This could be Windows, it could be Linux, or any other OS you install. Each guest OS runs independently, even though they may share the same physical host. And finally, you have the virtual disk or storage layer. This is typically a file or set of files that acts as the VM's hard drive. So the OS application, all the data and everything you do on the VM is stored in a set of files or just one file. So now I'm talking about leveraging virtualization in a business environment. There are several ways you can do that, and I think the biggest advantage is server consolidation, which instead of running one application on a physical server, you can run multiple VMs on a single host. This reduces hardware cost, power consumption, and physical space requirement. So another major benefit is disaster recovery and business continuity. Virtual machines are essentially files, so they can be backed up, replicated, or moved to another host with very little downtime. I've seen organizations use snapshots and VM replication to recover entire files in minutes, to recover entire system in minutes rather than hours. So virtualization also supports secure testing for developers. You could just run a VM and then there you test your software. If your software is good or not, you get to know, and then you get to use that as a test environment. And then if you need to do anything, or maybe you broke anything, you could just revert to a snapshot instantly. And lastly, virtualization makes scaling easier. If a business needs more computing power, it's much easier to just clone or deploy a new virtual machine than purchasing and configuring a physical hardware, which will take you hours. To go purchase, to go install the OS, might just take you an hour to install the OS, rather than cloning a VM, which will just take about 3 minutes. So overall, virtualization helps business operate with more flexibility, lower cost, and stronger resilience. And those benefits makes it a foundational technology for modern IT operations. Thank you very much.